This hidden gem from Adamo Parfum completely blew me away, so stay tuned. What's good, guys? Hunter here and welcome back to Fragrance Hunter. Hope you're all doing good. Today we are reviewing a fragrance from the house of Adamo Parfum, which completely took me by surprise because this is the first time I'm ever experiencing this house. And Numero V is by far right up my alley, and I gotta say, guys, I'm hyped for this review. Because I don't know about you, I love experiencing new fragrances, but what I love most is experiencing new niche houses. And that's exactly what I'm doing with Adamo Parfum. Have you guys heard of this house? Have you ever any experience with them? If you have, leave some recommendations down below. But if you love coffee, chocolatey, oudy, leather fragrances, oh my goodness, are you guys in for a treat? I don't know about you, but that scent profile sounds like heaven to me. Now, I do want to shout out So Avant-Garde for sending Adamo Parfum Numero V over for review. Of course, if I like it, I like it. If I don't, I don't. You already know the drill. If you want to shop So Avant-Garde, use code HUNTER10. You already know they have a huge catalog of niche fragrances. So of course, I got you guys. You can save 10% off at checkout. So let's run down some information. So Numero V was launched in 2023, which makes it only a few years old at the time of this recording. For the retail price on, I believe, the only size it comes in, which is the 100 ml, is going to run you $425, which I know is slightly on the more pricey side of things when it comes to niche fragrances. At the end of the day, guys, it is a niche house, so of course it's gonna be top tier quality. And I always looked at fragrances like works of art, which means the artist can charge whatever they want for their art, if you know what I mean. But if you use my code, that will probably bring like 40 bucks off at checkout. I'm telling you right now, you're getting a top tier fragrance. For the concentration as well, it is an extrait de parfum, so you're getting around 30% oils in here, which is always very, very high. And I'm glad it's an extrait, especially for the price tag. And for the perfumer, I actually tried to do some research. I have no idea the nose behind a Numero V, but whoever they are, they made one heck of a fragrance with this. Now, with all the information out of the way, let's look at the packaging and presentation you get with this fragrance now. So take a look at this box presentation, which gives off a very high quality, luxurious vibe. Of course, this is part of the Roman collection. Adamo Parfum, extrait de parfum. This is V or 5. You have this kind of statue in the background, if you can see that. Nothing on the bottom, nothing on the sides. On the back, you also have this statue right here. Parfum, and these are made in Italy, and you also have your batch code right there to authenticate product and see when it was produced. And your bottle is just housed in this kind of inner box, but man, does this look luxurious. Now take a look at this bottle, which has got to be one of the best looking bottles within my entire collection. Are you guys getting hypnotized? Because I am. From that logo on the front, of course, you got V. On the bottom, you got your sticker with your batch code. On the back, you have Adamo kind of signature Parfum, extrait de parfum right there. This cap is very, very heavy and weighted. Nothing inside of the atomizer or on the cap. And it does hold in by friction very securely, so you can't pick it up with confidence, but still be cautious. But man, oh man, is this bottle beautiful. In the top, you got ginger and coffee. In the mid, you got dark chocolate, oud, and leather. And in the base, you got tonka bean, sandalwood, and Cambodian oud. And this will be classified as a spicy gourmand. So let's spray this, test out this atomizers. Pretty good distribution. Unfortunately, though, it's not pressurized, but man, it's not the biggest deal, especially when you have a scent profile as good as this. And guys, since you're part of the family, I'll let you do the first sniff. You've got to be kidding me, because the opening of Numero V is outstanding. You're gonna get this fresh, spicy ginger, which if you know me, of course, you already know I love a ginger. One of my favorite fresh, spicy notes, mixed together with this kind of roasted coffee bean accord in the opening immediately, guys. So it's almost like a ginger coffee kind of vibe. Fresh, spicy, and has this roasted coffee nuance right away when you apply Numero V, and I love the way this one opens up. And I gotta say, it's very, very artistic and so unique compared to any other fragrance I've ever tried, and I've smelled thousands of fragrances in my lifetime. I mean, for real, take some coffee and put ginger in it. That is how this opens up. And I never thought a combination like that would work, but man, does it work perfectly. It definitely smells like a $400 fragrance. I will say that right now, guys. Adamo Parfum has top tier quality, especially to my nose. I mean, this does not smell like something you're gonna get at like Macy's or Dillard's or at like a department store, if you know what I mean. This is niche quality at its finest. Now, as we start transitioning into the mid is where you're gonna get this beautiful, luscious, dark chocolate vibe, guys. Very gourmand. It's a kind of bitter, dark chocolate nuance, and I love a good chocolatey fragrance. Now, mixing it with the dark chocolate though, you are gonna get this rugged leather and this very kind of earthy, woody oud in the mid as well. There's a ton of oud going on in V, one of the most dominant notes as well. And you could definitely detect it. And if you don't already know, oud is my favorite note in perfumery, hands down, because it's exotic It's been around for thousands of years, and it's expensive and smells very luxurious. Especially the way it's done in here. I wouldn't say it's completely barnyardy or funky type of oud where you're kind of gonna be scared away from it. It's just a very exotic, well done oud, and I believe Adamo said they put 70% oud in V, and I can totally see that, guys. I will also say the leather and oud combination kind of does give off a slight rubbery vibe to it, and even my girl, the last time I wore this one, said I smelled like tire shine, which I took as a compliment, guys, because you're getting niche fragrances, you want something different, and this definitely gives off a dark, woody, earthy kind of rubbery nuance. Another fragrance in my hand that kind of gives off this rubbery vibe that's also an oud is actually Tom Ford's Oud Wood, which I have right behind me there. So kind of a similar take on oud as Oud Wood, but still a completely different fragrance. Just the oud note alone gives off a similar tone. Earthy, woody, and slightly rubbery. But man, does that dark chocolate and leather oud combination completely shine. This is the kind of gourmand I can get behind, if you know what I mean. Those dark gourmands with a ton of other personality to them, because you get the ginger, you get the coffee, and you get the dark chocolate, which are pretty much all edible notes, and then throw in the oud and leather, and I'm all for that. And then finally, once we get into the base, which does take a long time to get into because it isn't extrait, so the opening and mid notes last a long time. However though, you're gonna get this kind of powdery, almost tobacco-like tonka bean vibe into the dry down of V, mixed together with this kind of solid dusty sandalwood and even more oud. I believe the oud in the base is completely different than the oud in the mid. It seems like two completely different ouds from two different regions of the world. And the oud in the far dry down does give off more of an earthy vibe to it, which in my opinion is how oud should come across, guys. Because if you don't know, oud comes from the agarwood tree that gets infected by mold. It starts oozing out this kind of resin to protect the tree, and you basically get oud from that, and it's kind of like black gold. Just because it's so expensive, and you could tell they use natural oud in V, and that's why you're paying a hefty price tag for it. But I absolutely fell in love with V, guys. It's gotta be one of my new favorite discoveries of 2025 easily. I mean, fresh spicy ginger coffee opening that dries down to a dark chocolate oud and leather with a base of tonka bean, sandalwood, and even more earthy oud. And just absolutely flawless. And after trying V, I'm definitely gonna have to deep dive into Adamo Parfum and try some other fragrances, because this blew me away. Now for the best seasons to rock V, guys, primarily fall and winter strictly. Stay away from the spring and summer with this beast right here, because it's too potent, too strong, too glowing for something if you want to wear in the summertime. There's nothing aquatic, citrusy, or fresh about it. It's a very deep, dark, luxurious fragrance for the fall and winter months, which we're into right now. So I might have to make this heavy in rotation for sure. And for occasion, this gives off formal, classy, sophisticated vibes. Somewhere where you want to dress up, make a statement, make a good first impression, and come across very confident. That's where this fragrance is going to shine the best and be a great compliment to whatever you're wearing. Either you're going on a date, like a fancy dinner, dressing up a little bit, going to a wedding, going to a very kind of important meeting, something along those lines where you want to be a little bit more classy. Doesn't mean though you can't dress it down, you still can, but it absolutely smells very formal. You would almost be doing this fragrance a dish justice if you're wearing this one dressing down. That is how expensive and luxurious this one smells, guys. And for gender, to me, guys, this is a very masculine DNA. There's nothing feminine about this at all, or something I would really want to smell on a lady from my personal preference. No, this smells like a ultra masculine fragrance from the top, mid, and base. So if you want to smell like a man that has a ton of money, comes across very confident, knows what he's doing with his life, you gotta check this out. It's definitely the leather, oud, dark chocolate, and coffee that makes it come across very masculine. Now for age groups as well, this is a very mature leaning fragrance. I couldn't really see somebody like in their late teens, early 20s really enjoying a fragrance of this nature. It's pretty much best suited for somebody that already has their life together, maybe like 30s and up, is like well established in his life, in his business, career, has a family, maybe is a father, a husband. Yeah, that's who I see picture wearing this the absolute best. Doesn't mean obviously if you're in your 20s you want to wear something like this, of course go for it, because I know I would. It doesn't mean it does not lean on the mature side, because it absolutely does. Like, this is the kind of fragrance I would want to be rocking when I'm like 40s and up. And you already know I'm going to be the best smelling father and husband in the world at that age, or even grandfather at that point. So I'm going to be rocking stuff like this. So wrapping the review off, talking on the performance you should expect to get from numero 5. So this is an extrait, and thank goodness it performs like an extrait should, because from my last testing, I got around 12 hours of longevity on skin. I mean, this fragrance easily lasted the entire day when I sprayed this one on. You don't have to reapply it after a few hours or anything like that. It's strong, beast mode, and very, very powerful. Might be one of the strongest fragrances I've tried recently, guys, especially when it comes to the scent profile alone. It's so potent and dense. You can tell this definitely has around 30% oils in here easily. I wish I could see the juice color, but unfortunately it's like pitch black bottle because I would imagine the juice in this is dark. And when it comes to the projection as well, guys, it was about moderate projection, which seems to be most of the time the case with these kind of gourmand type of fragrances from my experience, or at least my skin chemistry. They never really push off the skin so strong and fill up an entire room and just be overwhelming and loud. But it does push off a nice distance, probably about an arm's length or so away, especially for the first couple of hours easily. So people are gonna smell you. You're gonna get noticed. You're gonna get some comments on it, either good, maybe negative comments as well, depending on who you're around, because believe me, the majority of the public have never smelled a fragrance like this. And like I said earlier, my girl said I kind of smell like tire shine. She did like it though, don't get me wrong, but she did make that comment because at the end of the day, it is a oud leather fragrance, which never really pleases the masses. And I'm not getting fragrances like this to please the masses either, guys, believe me. So about moderate projection, and the scent sillage you leave behind you when you go about your day, go about your business, is this beautiful dark chocolate, leathery kind of coffee oud scent sillage that is so good. And this one almost smells even better in the air than on a test strip up close, guys. That's how amazing the scent profile